things have got so much worse for the most hated IRL streamer who's currently facing over a decade in prison in Korea, as it was now reported that new charges have been filed against him. And his trial date has now been set, and the dude is just absolutely losing his mind and making everything worse for himself. Not like that's just a new thing for this guy. He's been doing that his entire career. And I mean, I've made a plethora of videos on this guy covering the ongoing situation, so most people know. This guy makes a living off of harassing people in public, and specifically, he's built his career off of harassing people in Japan last year. He was arrested, he apologized, he spent a little bit over 3 months in jail over there, but once he was released, he deleted the apology and then started making fun of Japan again. Then he just continued his antics in other countries, and that just led him to more encounters with the police and other angry civilians. But his most recent situation is going on in Korea, where he essentially decided to do what he was doing in Japan, but act out infinitely more. He really just wanted to test the limits to see how far he can get away with things, and so far, it seems like he might have found that limit, you know, because he's facing over a decade in prison now. But Korea is doing things a little bit different to what Japan did. Japan, they held him in jail until his case was over. Korea, they said, hey, we'll just give you a travel ban. Good luck surviving out there, bud. The burden of providing for yourself is on you. And by the way, you can't work. You know, because if he does his job, he's going to make his trial way worse for himself. Then on top of that, it's not like he has a work visa either. He's on a tourist visa. So it's safe to say the dude is stuck between a rock and a hard place. And that is if there's only one trial, because he's committed dozens of felonies in Korea and snitched on himself doing everything because he live streamed everything. So all the prosecutors and victims need to do is watch through all the footage and file charges as needed. He really just made things so much easier on them and infinitely worse for himself. But I guess that's just the consequences of harassing strangers on the street for profit. So as of right now, he's currently in legal trouble for two things: the 7-Eleven incident for disrupting the business, and the newest one added to his current trial is a violation of the Minor Offenses Act, which from what I can tell is a misdemeanor. And the most common punishment for that would either be a fine and or up to 30 days in jail. And this charge is pretty vague, so it's a little bit unclear on what he did to get this charge, but Andrew from Legal Mindset went over the things you need to do or allegedly do to get this charge.
So you see here, we've got breaking into empty houses. Uh-oh. Oh, that could have been it. Because he broke into the house too. Remember that? He trespassed. Carrying a concealed weapon. Preparing for violence. False reporting. Changing the scene of dead bodies. Woof, that's bad. Failing to report a person in need. False assumption of a title. So if you pretend to be anyone with a rank or public office or academic degree, if you pretend to have any other medal, emblem, etc. So that could be pretty much anything, any rank, decoration. So that could even be a title, like if you pretend to be a lawyer or pretend to be a PhD. That's interesting. He was pretending to be press at one point. Inertia selling of goods, solicitation, unauthorized posting of ad material, interference with potable water, littering, urination, interference with ceremonies.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a plethora of things that could be relevant here, as he did interrupt a televised concert or ceremony. He did harass a bunch of people in public, and then Andrew also mentioned that he did break into someone's place. So that is really interesting. He also made countless threats. And then you have number 20 there, which is also relevant because this guy is just regularly day drinking in public and acting belligerent towards random citizens on the street for his content. So this charge is very vague, but clearly a lot of his behavior fits this charge. But he also made some extremely creepy threats to another streamer, which both he himself streamed and the victim. But the creator Decoy Voice covered this a little while back.
Maria, get the out of here. Just touch me again. I swear to God.
As apparently he's all riled up because that other streamer girl tried to throw water on him.
Hold up, so he threatened that over some water?
So Johnny's Bonnie to his Clyde threw a drink on her.
Don't try to throw a drink on me. Yeah, you don't this shit, you know? Shut up! Shut up!
And as I tried to see what happened after, he quickly deleted that video, bragging that he smacked her camera across the street and immediately deleting the saved stream.
Oh man, dude. Yeah, so he's aware enough to try to scrub all of his stuff as soon as possible, but unfortunately for him, the Clippers, like Cancel Johnny's and many more, have caught on to this. and then just record all of his streams. Also, I mean, this is assault.
Don't ever rely on me again.
This guy is just such a massive man-child who's clearly on a mission to ruin his own life for internet attention. And also, I guess because he can't really control his own emotions. And also, I'm laughing here because not what he said. What he said is awful, but how pathetic he is hilarious.
Can you please help me? Help me! He said he's gonna rape me. Please help me. He said he's gonna rape. He did. Please help me. Help me. No, he's seriously there. He said he's gonna rape me. I said that's a threat, yeah.
What is he crashing out for? But I guess his whole stream is just one big crash out. But even by the bar that he set so low for himself, this is still pathetic. And this situation has become relevant again because now there's a few charges there. Obviously, the threats, assault, but also this business happened to be ABC Pizza. And the people have now reported him for disrupting that business, just like he did at the 7-Eleven. Because as we saw, the people he harassed here were customers of the business and spent a decent amount of time causing a commotion at the entrance of this business. So that's also being reported to the investigators. Now, in a separate situation, a Korean creator has now filed charges against him for violating national railway laws. This is for harassing the people on the train like we covered in my last video on him. And if all of these incidents were just isolated, if he only did one of them and he didn't do any of the others, they would probably slip through the cracks because no one cares enough. But because of who Johnny is and how much shit he's done in Korea in the short time that he's been there, I mean, just his whole career is harassing strangers in public for his own content. And he's now been charged with two things. They just want to throw everything at him. And the pathetic catalyst that caused this national hatred and outrage towards him was his P. Diddy jokes, then undressing and rubbing baby oil all over himself and the Comfort Lady statues, then, groping and dancing on it. He obviously did this to upset as many people as possible, as the Comfort Women statues are to honor and remember the thousands of SA victims from the 1930s into the early 40s. And he was extremely aware of exactly what he was doing, even though he played dumb and didn't know. And every time he gets confronted, he just plays this stupid act of I didn't do anything wrong. Please enlighten me on what I did wrong, because I don't even understand that I did something wrong. Yeah, I digress, but remember the streamer Bong Bong, who Johnny made the deep pig video of them making out? That's also a potential charge. We saw her live stream herself pressing charges, but she apparently decided to not pursue them any further. Well, that is until recently, because allegedly Johnny was begging her not to follow through with those charges. But now, there's a rumor that she's filing them anyway. Now, will she follow through this time? Who knows? But we do also know that the investigators were looking into that case, even though that she dropped the charges. This is because she filed them to begin with. But another new update to the situation is his trial is now scheduled for December 20th, where he's facing a charge of disrupting a business, which again, he live streamed because clearly he's very determined to build the best possible case against himself. That's what makes all this so funny. He is the prosecution's own star witness against himself, because the dude loves lying, and he even bragged about lying in court in Japan to get out with a lesser sentence. So now he'll be like, nah, that didn't happen. And then the prosecutors are like, well, here's this live stream. Because the difference between Korea and Japan right now is now we have all of this information that Japan didn't have back then that's being shown to the prosecutors now. It also seems like the prosecutors over there are way more aggressive and also way more interested in seeing what the internet has compiled of his own actions. But you may be asking, what has he been doing since he was indicted? Well, he did that publicity stunt where he apologized and pretended he didn't know anything about the statue.
Can you guys tell me a little bit more of the history of the statue? Because I haven't done too much research.
But again, he streamed himself, literally enlightening his viewers on what that statue was and what it stood for.
I'm talking about the Korean comfort women. The thousands of women who were forced into by the Imperial Japanese Army during World War II.
And, you know, to really blow up that apology, he then recently promised that he would repeat those actions to the comfort women statues if he was banned on TikTok.
I swear to God, if they ban this TikTok, I'll go back to the statue tomorrow. Wallahi, if they ban this TikTok, I'll go to the statue tomorrow.
So, yeah, he's just completely destroying any chance of any leniency from a judge. And now he's just starting to completely lose his mind as he started this new content bit where he claims that he's in North Korea, when in reality, he's still in Seoul.
They say the National Intelligence Service is gonna come get me. Tell them, come find me. I ain't scared of them. Shout out North Korea. Shout out Pyongyang. Shout out Kim Jong-un. That's my till the day I die. South Korea.
Right, dude. They know exactly where you are, and it's not like you can leave the country. So, hang tight, bud. Imagine being this guy's attorney, and then you see your client posting this before the trial. Oh, man. And he's doing this all while extremely confident that he's going to beat this case like OJ. Whatever you say, man. Whatever you say. But he also posted this video.
Man, it's a hard life out here. They saying I'm going to jail. They're saying all this bullshit. I'm out here. I'm still north, near the DMZ. I made it to North Korea. Thank the Lord. Thank God. Shout out North. Shout out Kim Jong-un. Shout out Pyongyang. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. The reason why I respect North Korea is because they're dystopian. They are a, you know what I mean, fascist place, but they don't lie about it. South Korea is just as fascist. You just lie about it. I touched the statue, so you guys are trying to silence me, murder me, and then jail me. So I might as well be in North Korea. Look, I'm out here in the wilderness. Snow, 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 snow time. Yeah, you're never gonna catch me alive.
All right, those are some famous last words. Yeah, I guess this just shows how incredibly ignorant he is. There's a very big difference in the quality of life between those two borders. But I love how he oversimplifies the whole reason people are upset with him. No, the people are upset with you because you chose to harass people in public for a living, and you act like an attention-starved child. You also have been doing this for over a year now, and it seems like the only thing that's going to stop this behavior is legal repercussions, because nobody deserves to be harassed and broadcast against their will on your live stream, simply because they have to commute to work and are unfortunate enough to share a train car with you. But with the recent martial law order that went into place for a couple hours in Korea, Johnny allegedly lost his mind. He got scared and deleted all of his posts disrespecting South Korea and all of his posts endorsing North Korea. And this is all according to the Korean news channel Korea Now.
Who would have known that of all things, it would be the president of South Korea to finally put a stop to YouTuber Johnny Somali? On December 3rd, after President Yoon suddenly declared martial law, the American quickly took down prior contents which were pro-China and North Korea from his TikTok and other social accounts. The out-of-the-blue martial law declaration lasted for only a handful of hours, and during the
He
time,
uploaded a
Somali
lot of these
quickly
videos,
took down
actually. I only saw a couple of them, apparently, but like they're showing way more videos here than what I've seen.
Over to North Korea. Many think that the YouTuber was most likely panicking, not fully
Which really just
understanding
shows
what
you
martial law is,
how
what was
reckless
going on
and
at the
stupid
time,
he's being. Like,
which
in
led
front of
him
his
to
trial,
take
he's
down
doing all of this.
praising North Korea and the captions that
Whatever he
this
gets as a
country
sentence,
is
he
so
deserves it.
time to leave to the true Korea. Somali, who has been banned from leaving Korea back in October, is still waiting to hear his fate for the series of commotions which he caused during his stay. Will Somali finally keep it low, or do you think he will create more controversies in Korea? Share your thoughts in the comments down below.
Well, I mean, he would be smart if he kept it low until his trial at least, but as we know from covering him, he's not very smart. So I'm definitely expecting him to resume to his antics now that the martial law situation's finished. Also, he wasn't even charged for the comfort woman stuff. He was just punched in the face for that. And that guy, he was also charged. So don't crash out over the streamer. He's not worth it. Just let the legal process happen, and only time will tell what will actually happen. Until then, it seems like Korea has been way more aggressive against him than Japan has. So this will definitely be interesting. But hey, I mean, if you want another way to support the channel, you can check out my company, Matt.City, where we took inspiration from the toy car mat we've all grown up with, and we brought it to a city near you. And we've also done this with mouse mats. And look at this thing. We did a winter, this is called the Snow Rally collection. There's like a winter mat. It's pretty cool, fit in the frame. This is definitely one of my favorites. And we've also done this with mouse mats in all sizes as well. So here's like the DC example of the large mouse mat. So if you're looking for a last minute Christmas gift for yourself or a loved one, it would be awesome if you checked out matt.city in the link down below. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.